You said that you wish you could have shown Nipsey Hussle how to be rich in the ghetto.
Yep, I said that.
What does that mean exactly?
Well, you got to live a certain way to be able to live in South Central and have money. You have to treat people a certain way. You have to be respected a certain way. And I don't think that he knew how to do it.
Well, don't you think he was well respected in that area? I mean, he was kind of the savior of South Central.
Yeah, I mean, having respect and being respectful is two different things. You can have respect and then you can disrespect one person and get yourself killed like we saw happen.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've interviewed Cowboy, who was standing next to Nipsey when all this happened. I also interviewed Brick Baby, that was actually very close friends with Eric Holder, who was the killer. I mean, Eric Holder was actually named after him. Like, they're both named Shitty Cuz. Eric lived with him at one point, but him and Nipsey were also close friends. So I really got to dig this whole situation up, really go into detail. And ultimately, you have this guy, Eric Holder, who is, selling drugs to get by. He's got mental issues. He'd gotten beaten up really badly by another guy in the neighborhood, had his head slammed into the concrete to the point where he had to have brain surgery. He had just robbed somebody that same day, pulled out a gun on someone. And he's with some girl that he's hanging out with, and he approaches Nipsey, and Nipsey starts asking him about some alleged paperwork about him allegedly snitching. And according to Brick Baby, who's this guy's friend, he said he feels from his point of view that Eric just said to himself that this is the last time that they're going to disrespect me. Like, I'm so sick of this, and this guy who's way up there that everyone looks up to, he just disrespected me in front of a whole bunch of people. That's never going to happen again. And he pulled out his gun and killed him in broad daylight, knowing that 100% he's going to prison for life to do this. Like, there's no way he's escaping the situation, right?
Right.
Witnesses, cameras, high profile guy, middle of the day. He knew for a fact that he was never going to be free after the situation, but he still did it. What do you think Nipsey could have done differently to avoid this?
Well, I mean, he could have put his arm around him and say, little homie, let me help you out. Let me help you get your life together. Would have been a total different situation. Because that's what he was supposed to have been doing, uplifting the community. Not worrying about who was snitching and who wasn't snitching. He was getting in somebody else's business that he had nothing to do with.
That's true. And the reality is, according to Brick Baby, is that Eric Holder actually didn't snitch on anybody. It was just a rumor started by someone who didn't like him. No paperwork ever came out about him actually snitching. And, and I've always said this, I feel like once you get to a certain level in your life, especially if you're successful, but even if you're a regular 9-to-5 guy who's got a regular job, you pay taxes, you have a family, one of the worst things you could do is to continue to associate with active criminals. Now, I don't mean someone who turned their life around. I consider you a friend. I understand you have your background, but that's not what you do anymore. You know what I'm saying? You run a legal business. You have speaking engagements, you do interviews, you have a dispensary. I've never heard of you doing any crimes since you've gotten out. And that's why I feel comfortable being around you and so forth. But if you were still selling cocaine, I wouldn't want anything to do with you. If you're out robbing, killing, scamming, I wouldn't want anything to do with you because I run a legitimate business. And I feel that 90% of the time, a lot of these artists get in trouble because they surround themselves with people who are still actively criminals.
Yeah, but they still tinkering. They still tinkering with criminality. They're still fascinated about it. They're not, like this morning when I got up, I walked out the door, the first person I saw was Boo from Athens Park, riding a bike up and down the street. You know what I'm saying? Known gang member, a real rider, right? From Athens Park. He's over in Denver Lane Hood. I waved at him. He came over, gave me a dab. What's up, big homie? How you doing? Everything is good. He was a little tipsy. I was like, man, when you gonna stop drinking that alcohol? He said, I don't know if I'm gonna ever stop drinking, big homie. Got on his bike and rode off. So it's just ways that you can deal with them, but you can't deal with them on their terms and to the level that they're on it. And Nipsey could have did that. Nipsey, had the hood. But you can't, they don't care who you is. In the hood, you can't really disrespect people in the hood because you don't know what they own that day. I mean, even when we was in jail, you have to be careful when you're in jail because you don't know, a guy could have just got off the phone with his girlfriend and heard her fucking somebody else, and now he's steaming hot and you say something to him and he just blow up on you and kill you.
Yeah, no, we talked about this, about how if Eric Holder had approached him and if Nipsey just said, hey, man, how you doing? Hey, man, I got to run. I got to get a phone call. You good? All right, I'm out. The worst that would have happened is Eric would be like, yeah, Nipsey be acting funny.
Exactly.
And that's it. He would have no reason to pull out a gun, shoot him. He might just be like, oh, yeah, fuck that guy. He changed. Yes. He's different. And that's it.
Yes.
But at the point you're calling him a snitch or asking about snitch allegations, you're now hurting that person's feelings to a certain degree.
Well, you're giving yourself a certain authority. Now you becoming the authoritarian in this area where you can question what people are doing and what activities they are into. And I think that's going a bit far.
Yeah. I mean, look, like I said, Nipsey was way too rich and legitimately rich, legally rich, to really even be having conversations with someone like an Eric Holder at all. Seriously, like there should not have even been any. It's almost like someone like that shouldn't even be able to walk up and talk to you.
Well, but money don't make you where you can't be approached or that you can't have a conversation with nobody. But when you had a conversation, it's how the conversation is formatted, how it's orchestrated. It ain't the fact that he was talking to Eric. It's what he said to him that triggered him. You could be rich and still talk to somebody that's dirtball poor, but it's how you talk to them. It's how you present yourself to them. Do you make yourself seem bigger than them and try to belittle them? If you're doing that, people gonna get upset with it. And I don't care if you ain't got no money. If you do that to somebody, they could kill you.
No, that's true, man. It was a sad day in LA when it happened. I've interviewed Nipsey before. I've ran into him. We've had conversations. He's always been cool, man. I felt like he was, he really stood on something and really tried to make a difference. He could have opened his clothing store on Melrose. He didn't have to buy businesses in South Central. I think he was trying to prove a point and try to do something that 99% of people don't do. They get their money and they move out of their neighborhood. That's what everyone does.
True.
He did the opposite. He tried to actually open businesses in the neighborhood, buying buildings, opening stores, employing people from the neighborhood, turning Crenshaw into a tourist attraction, putting the name of his neighborhood.
He did that.
Yeah.
Because there used to be so many people around that store.
Yeah. He did it. He did it, man. And it ended in the worst possible way. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. Before I let you go, I just want to point out that you received a doctorate, an honorary doctorate.
I did. I'm making headways, man.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you. I ain't done yet. I also brought a couple of my guys with me, too. I want to introduce you to them.
All right. Well, Freeway Ricky, man, you brought some people with you. Introduce them.
Yeah, man, I brought my guy, Juice.
Nice to meet you, man.
Juice is one of my rappers that been making some noise out here right now. He's been on tour for about a year. We making some noise. I told you, man, I'm gonna get it. Then I brought my nephew here.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Young boxer, national champ, number 2 in his weight class. Brought my other one. Y'all tell him your names.
Yeah, what's good? Nice to meet you, Vlad, by the way. My name Raleigh Bourne. I've been I've been boxing for 9 years. Some people say I've been born to box or whatever because I've been doing it for so long, but I'm
Okay. What weight classes?
yeah, I fight at 130.
Okay. Okay. What about you?
Okay, my name is Shaheem Ashford. I've been boxing since I was 4. I got my first fight at 8. I'm number 2 in the nation. I fight 118 pounds. Right now I have one fight and 1 knockout. I go by Shaw
Okay.
Money.
And you guys are actually pro or still amateur?
I'm pro.
Yeah, I'm pro as well, but
Okay.
and as an amateur, I had around like 160 amateur fights. I was ranked number 2 in the country as well. And as a pro now, I'm 1-0, 1 KO, and I knocked him out in about 25 seconds. But I'm looking to make my next pro fight in November 30th in Rochester, New York.
Okay. So for the two of you, who do you guys really want to get in the ring with?
Anybody. I want Javante, I want Shakur, I want all them, Terrence Crawford. I can't wait to show my talents and show my skills because I know one day I'm gonna be up there, 100%.
Yeah, I've interviewed Javante before, man. He's a beast.
Yeah, I know.
He's a beast. I mean, he's actually my favorite boxer right now.
Yeah, he's one of the best. He can counter, jab, he got the power, so he can kind of do it all.
Yeah, it's almost like a young Mike Tyson. That's what we actually talked about in our first interview.
Yeah, but I just know one day I'll be able to compete with those top guys.
All right. What about you, man?
Yeah, anybody you put me in the ring with, I'm down. My goal is to win.
You don't have no names? He wants you to call a name out. Who you?
Javante, Shakur, anybody. Like I said, anybody. We ready.
Well, one of the things that Vlad, you know, I always tell you, when I'm doing something, I'm gonna eventually get to the best. You know, I done brought a couple other boxers through here, and you know, a couple of them pretty good. You know, Anthony Peterson is the one who really taught Tank when he was younger. I brought him through and introduced you to him. These two guys right here, they're a different level. You know, we took them over to Freddie Roach's gym yesterday, and they got to spar with some of the best guys in the world. You know, Freddie got some of the best guys in the world over at his gym, and Freddie really took a liking to these guys. And I'm just excited to be working with them. And with these two guys, once everybody see what I do with them, you see Kid Austin, how good he's been doing. Mm-hmm. You know, he's right there, number 2 at Tank's belt. Matter of fact, he may be getting a fight with Tank here in a couple months. So I'm just excited to be working with these two young guys. And you know, since I was coming through, I thought it would be good to bring them through and introduce you to them. And matter of fact, introduce them to the world. You know, a lot of people watch your show, and I thought that they deserve to be more known than what they are. You know, you win a national, number 2 in the nation. They couldn't go to the Olympics because they was too young. Try for the Olympics because they was too young. But you know, it's a shame that we have people that are doing good things, but nobody really recognize their talent. So I just want the world to let them know, that put them on notice that these two young men are coming out.
Okay, and what made you sign a rapper again?
Well, you know, I ain't through with the music business, man. I lost $600,000 in the music business, and I feel like the music business owed me some money. So, you know, one of the things that I do is when I make a mistake, I try to correct it. You know, people ask me, what would you do different? Well, I didn't pay attention to what I was doing in the music business. I just gave up the money, but this time I'm actually working into the industry. You know, me and Juice really work closely together, and you know, Juice is a great dude. You know, I don't think that there's nobody out here that's any better for me to be working with than somebody like him. And he came already equipped, you know, with his own bread. You know, he had money. I mean, he had everything that it takes to really make it in this industry. You know, I meet a lot of guys, I mean, talented as hell in the music industry. But if you don't have any money to promote yourself and market yourself, then it's really hard for anybody to ever hear your music.
That's what it is, man. I mean, I love that you always bring people in.
Do you? I'm glad you
Yeah,
do.
no, I like it, man. I like it because it's always an open platform. I've always told you yes whenever you've asked me to do this.
Yeah, you never turned me down.
I've never said no. I've never said no.
And that's why when you call me, I always come. You know, my whole team didn't want me to come.
Oh yeah, the whole team didn't want you to come.
Nobody wanted me to do this interview. You know, they thought you was gonna be asking me questions about Meech and, you know, I mean, you know, people got their own stereotypes about you. You know, like I said, I don't think that you ever asked me nothing out of line.
Yeah.
Never, not one time. And I respect your journalism. You know, I mean, if you're able to pull out of a guy that he committed a murder, you know, on air, I mean, that's on him. So I felt flattered to bring my young guys in and let them meet you. You know, a lot of people heard about you and they wanted to meet you. So they was in town and I was like, y'all hit town just in time. We're going
That's what it is, man. You guys are in good hands. You know, me and Freeway Ricky go way back at this point. You know, we've probably done about half a dozen interviews. They've all done millions of views, man. And he almost always, he brings someone in and promotes someone. And I mean, that's just who you are, though.
Absolutely. If you're not helping nobody, I mean, what you doing?
There you go. There you go. Well, that's what it is, man. Freeway
Appreciate
Ricky, always a pleasure.
Appreciate you, man.
That's what it is. Until next time. Peace.
Peace.